What is up, my Neppers? This is the NepQueen, and welcome back to another episode of Grinding 101. Last time we discussed the simple method of reaching level 40 by hunting down metal doggoos, and that was pretty easy. But guess what? Today, we're going to put on the pro gear. We're getting into the more serious grinding stuff now. We're in serious mode. Time to strap up, gamers, because in this episode, we're going to be learning how to get from level 40 to level 60 plus, and we're going to be hunting some pretty big targets. So make sure you've got your listening ears ready because we have a lot to talk about. Alrighty, let's get started. Okay, remember the Metro Factory dungeon from episode 1? Well, guess what? We're going back to that dungeon again for this grinding method. But first, we need to do a little something. For this grinding method, we are going to activate the Add Enemies plan for this dungeon. Gather the necessary material to build and activate it. Once you make it, turn it on and make sure that this icon is by the dungeon. It proves that you have the plan turned on. This plan adds 2 more risky bosses to the map, or rather it replaces the old one with stronger ones. As you can see here, there are these big guys floating around the dungeon now. These new enemies are our primary targets for this method. So let's kick down some big beasts. Okay, the first step is to hunt these 2 big whale monsters here. They're called child whales. If your party is level 40 or up, you'll be able to fight these things pretty okay, so long as you make sure you're well equipped and exercise caution. As always, the best motive to go with when fighting is to break the guard first. But you should also charge the EX gauge so you have your special attacks ready when said guard is broken. Repeat this method with these 2 spawns multiple times and you'll gain about 5k experience per win. It's a little bit more than the doggoos, but it will help you reach your target level. The target level you're trying to reach is level 45. But you're free to go even farther if you feel confident when hunting these things. And remember, skipping the attack animation will make the process go by way faster. Once you reach over level 45, taking these things will go so easy that even your reserved party members can do it. And you won't even need your special anymore. So get hunting, gamers! Okay, now that you've reached level 45 and over, we're ready to aim for the much bigger target in the room. You see this big guy right here? This is the Hyperdimension. This will be your target for leveling up the rest of the way. Now by the time you reach this guy, your gauge should be charged completely. If not, go back to the child whales and use them as your punching bags to charge the gauge. Just remember to use the rush combo to charge it up the fastest. So yeah, you're going to use them as your gauge fodder now. Anytime your gauge is below 1, just go back to these guys and use them to charge your gauge. Best to have the gauge at least 3, but I like to go all the way to 4 just to be safe. Okay, so moving on to this guy. The Hyperdimension is definitely a major jump in difficulty. When you first take it on, it will most likely strike first if you don't achieve a successful symbol attack. But that's highly unlikely because risky bosses never charge at you when you're within their eyesight, so it should be a very easy first strike for you. So this guy is pretty frustrating to take down at first. It also heals a lot every single time it's their turn, so it can easily discourage you. But don't worry, you'll get there. Okay, so when you take this thing on for the first time, it's best to use only CPUs in the party in the front. You can also make them activate HCD. I actually do recommend this for the first time fight. Also, maybe boost some of the stats on your girls so they don't take such heavy damage at first. So, same protocol here, just destroy its guard and you should be able to take it down. This thing luckily has a pretty weak guard, so keep spamming the break combo on it and it will go down pretty quickly. But, you can't be careless on this. One of the things that's annoying about this enemy is it can paralyze one of your party members. It almost always does, I guarantee it. So make sure to bring Parallaxin or whatever the item is called with you when you go and fight this guy. From what I see, it will always choose one of your girls to paralyze. I think it's actually random. When I played this game before I did this playthrough, it was Neptune, and for this time around it's Blonde. Either way, one of your girls will probably be immobilized a majority of this fight. So bring those items so you don't have such a hard time. Okay, now here's where the strategy comes to play. Keep an eye on your turns for this fight, because when this guy's guard is broken, try to aim for Vert being next in line when this happens. Sometimes you need to skip turns just for this guard to remain the same and not charge up. For example, if you have a turn order and the guard breaks when you finish using Vert, you've already messed up. So try to break the guard with somebody else. Then when it's broken, have it be Vert's turn afterwards. And if the guard isn't quite broken yet and it's not Vert's turn next, then defend until there is a chance for someone else to break the guard and then have Vert finish it. So, why am I giving Vert the VIP treatment for this? Well, because her special can utterly decimate this thing when its guard is down. Sometimes she can even KO it in one shot if you're lucky. Her special does deal the heaviest damage, but I think it has to do with her shares being the highest. So if you do what I do in the last Grinding 101 episode and use the Metal Doggo quest to bring her shares up and get rid of the other shares, Vert will be a powerhouse and be very useful to you for this grind. In my case, Neptune and Blonde special just can't kill this thing and at best cut its HP in half, in which case you have wasted 1 bar of your drive. So it's best to take this thing down with Vert or whichever goddess in your play has the most shares. So pay attention to the turn order and strategize accordingly. And this boss should be a pretty easy takedown for you. And guess how much this bad boy gives you? Yep, your eyes aren't playing games with you. That number isn't wrong. You obtain over 20,000 experience for killing this thing, which is a huge step up from the old grinding. This is why I said we're in serious mode now. The good stuff is happening right here. And this is why this will be your main target for this grind. The whales were just for practice. This is who you really want to spam kill to get that juicy EXP to get you up to 60 and over with no time at all. Another tip for hunting this guy is once you beat Chapter 4 and move on to Chapter 5 and Noir joins your party, have her replace whichever character got paralyzed the most before. Unless it's the character that you have the most shares with, because that's the one you're going to need to deal the final blow every time. Noir may be a little behind when she joins though, so try to get her to level 45 before, or you can test your luck with her. She's actually an excellent addition to use in this fight because Noir has a resistance to being paralyzed, therefore eliminating that issue before. So adding her onto your team should really help you out with this grind a lot. She can also deal pretty good hits once she's caught up, and if you're hunting this guy, that should be a pretty easy task to achieve. So anyway guys, that's about all I have to say for this episode. This was a pretty tricky one to explain, but I hope I made it easy for you to understand. As usual, if you have any questions about this method, please let me know in the comments below. And you don't even have to 100% listen to everything I say here. Please feel free to try things your own way, or if you have any of the DLC characters with you, you can also try using them. Just play around and find a method that works for you. This is just the one that works best for me, so I thought I'd share it. Now as usual, this is still grinding, so it may take you some time. But you should get to your goal before long, so long as you're well equipped, are smart about your strategy and turns, and skip those animations to make it move at God speed. Alright you guys, that about does it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I hope this guide will help you get your girls jacked and good enough to fight the challenges soon after. If you like what you saw and for more guides, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe as usual. And be sure to tune in next time too. I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you next time. This is the NepQueen signing off. Bye-bye!